Hello and welcome to the World F3 Championship live on Apex Racing TV. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Tyler Vickery with Samuli Kumo on the cameras this evening. And we're here in Brazil, Interlagos, the host for meeting 3 of the season, rounds 5 and 6. And so far this season, Ty, we have seen some incredible racing. Spa in particular was superb, but also Silverstone was a quite incredible race 1 in particular, and also race 2 as well. And I think around this Interlagos circuit, an absolute classic in single seaters, I think we're going to have more of the same.
Yeah, I can agree with that. There's some good battles overall, especially at Silverstone. Had some very crazy moments with a lot of cars going off track, but that was just how much aggressiveness they were trying to be able to get the quickest times and keep up with the rivals. So, especially with this kind of track, it'll be interesting to see how much aggressiveness we'll see, and might see some really quick lap times as well, especially with this track having this very long start-finish straight. So, a lot of things can happen.
Definitely, and of course the track out there today is 37 degrees Celsius. Expect that to rise above 40, I think, when it comes to the race. I think it's a slightly later time of day for the race, so that could be a real challenge for the drivers. In the championship so far, we've seen an enthralling championship. Peter Bayman, winner of 3 out of 4 races, did have a retirement though, so he's only 3 points ahead of Ken Jr., who's finished second in every single race so far this season. Paul Ilbring has done very well to clinch 3rd position for now. I think he's only had 1 podium, very consistent so far, so too consistent is Alex Simpson. Marco Mulken did win a race at Spa, but he's failed to really keep up with Ilbring and Simpson. Apart from that, made a couple of mistakes. It's obviously he sits in 5th, and then it's Christian Rose and Nicholas Rasmussen running out the top 7, and then it's Alsop, Henny, and Namella, particularly Alsop and Namella, very much out of position there. Do you consider them for maybe race wins? And I think, yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about most of all time, because so far it's been Peter Bayman in particular absolutely dominating Apex Racing UK, looking very strong. Looking at the times in qualifying, maybe there could be a little bit of an upset though. The other drivers, a lot of them within a quarter of a second of the pole time.
Yeah, and just looking at just seeing how close right now all of them are. Top 10 are in the 20. The top 10 is in the 20-minute 25s, while most of the rest of the field are in the 126s. But even still, this track's going to be focused mainly on draft in the back half of the course, and then the middle courses will make all the difference. But points wise, it's going to be interesting, especially when you see how Kevin Ellis is leading, and this is more his race to lose, because if Peter Berryman keeps winning, it's going to hurt Kevin Ellis. But like we saw at Spa in the first race of the season, how he had a huge accident in it, and Peter Berryman got caught up in it. If something like that happens again, and Kevin Ellis can keep finishing in podiums this whole season, Kevin Ellis is going to be the one to beat for the drivers' championship.
Yeah, they're very much playing down the Drivers' Championship, saying that they just want to give Apex Racing UK the Teams Championship. I'm sure, though, as long as they stick about it for the entire season, they will be desperate to beat one another. Of course, both drivers who claimed podiums in the World Championship Grand Prix series, and I believe are looking decent for qualification in the Porsche series as well for later on in the year. And just the times being put at the moment. Of course, we've already talked quite a bit this season, particularly at Spa, Tyler, about the rear wings in these cars. It really helps us out, us commentators, that we can really visually see how much rear wing these drivers are taking, how much downforce they have got. And well, it's really interesting to look out there once again. Not too much variation, but that variation, even if it is slight, it's going to be a very important difference, because, of course, as you said earlier, half the track is a drafting zone, half of it is this tight twisted section.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, like, for the camera angle we're looking right now of Brian Lockwood, the rear wing, like the top, little top half that they use as all their main rear downforce, it's a lot lower. So it looks like a lot of these drivers are using a low downforce package. I'd be very curious if we do have a few that use the high downforce, and if it'll be a good example to see. I don't know. I honestly don't think anyone's going to be probably using it because everyone's going to focus on the draft. But the one big difference for a lot of you guys that are new is if you see that rear wing a lot larger than a good example of some of the other drivers that are coming in now, it'll be very interesting to see. It'll be very noticeable to see. Um, it's especially how right now it's a lot thinner compared to the high downforce, and then you'll be able to see the difference. Which it looks like right now from all the drivers I'm seeing, it looks like everyone's going with that low downforce package.
Yeah, I think so. I know the Formula One teams tend to go quite high downforce down around here, or not high downforce, but
Yeah.
medium
It,
downforce. I think the altitude is quite high, so they need that extra
yeah.
downforce because of the thin air.
Yeah, and that's what I would put into play, especially working on setups myself for the Formula 3. I would I would have been working on a high downforce setup first, and if it's making that big of a difference, there is a way where you can modify the rear a little bit. You can still be able to have the larger wing, a little bit larger wing to have that downforce, but there is a way where you can be able to modify the high downforce wing to make it where it's almost similar to a low downforce setup. But it's very tricky because you have to make sure that you don't take too much wing out of the high downforce wing setup. Otherwise, you're going to just be spinning like a top a lot of the time if you try to make a turn. But looks like everyone's gonna, from all the cars I'm seeing, it seems like everyone's going with the safe strategy and just going low downforce. So looks like we won't see anyone. Looks like we won't see anyone different, and this will be interesting seeing everyone with low downforce and no one really going with the big strategy call.
Yeah, that certainly seems to be the case. Not sure if iRacing takes into account the altitude. They ought to, because of course you'd expect them
Yeah.
to get Mexico City in at some point, and that's such a dull circuit. The one attribute that makes it vaguely interesting is the high altitude and the thin air, the fact that they have to run Monaco
Absolutely.
downforce. But of course, this isn't Formula One. We will concentrate on these Formula 3 cars. I don't think those Formula 3 cars actually go to Mexico. I don't think it's, of course, it was Europe too, so Mexico is not in Europe. And yeah, of course, we'll never have visited this circuit either. By the way, the top two looks to be set. Peter Bayman and Kevin S. Jr. Bayman just went a little bit faster than S. Jr. Those two looking to be on the front row of the grid with Alex Simpson in third. That would be Apex Racing UK's best qualifying session of the season. First time they would have looked at the top three positions, but there are still a few more dangerous drivers as the clock ticks 0. And now all these drivers can set their final lap time. Seemingly, Steve Lavelli, is he going to get held up? No, very generous there from his own teammate. In fact, so that was why it was so generous. And he goes straight past Steve. Hopefully, will be able to put in a good lap. Of course, that turn 4, running in just a little bit wide there, can give you a 1x. These drivers don't have to worry about that, though. At least in the race, there's a no instant limit. But of course, in qualifying, would invalidate your lap time. Nico Foggy, leader in the UV8, second in the BSR Radical. He's only 10th, though, currently in this qualifying session. Interesting, in this car, a little bit of a mix-up. Richard Warmingham ahead of Nicole Foggy, and of course, no offence to Richard, but we rarely see that. I think this car, by a few of these drivers, has been, properly driven a lot, so they have a lot of know-how, whilst other drivers, maybe a little bit like Nick Cole, are still trying to get up to speed in it.
Yeah, there's a few drivers I've seen struggle, especially this is still a new car to everyone. It's only been on iRacing for a few months, so it's still very new to a lot of drivers, and especially if they're just coming in and trying out the open wheel side, it's gonna really throw them for a loop because they won't really haven't understood the car until they get a lot of seat time in.
Yeah, and like I said before, I think a few drivers still trying to get up to speed. And of course, the competitiveness in this field is incredible. We'll take you through the grid, but honestly, the drivers from 9th to 15th at unbelievable quality, and they are in those positions. It always gets me how good these drivers are, and good to see, if anything, a couple new drivers coming into this series, making it even stronger. Really has been a success. Of course, the first series of the World F3 Championship accompanying the World GT Championship as well. And we're very looking forward to meeting 3 of the season. We can now go through the grid for round 5 of the season, and it is Peter Bayman. Once again on pole position, that's 3 out of 3 for him, ahead of his teammate Kevin Estrian. But compared to Silverstone, it is significantly closer between those two. But Alex Simpson also in the mix, being a little bit off his two teams so far this season. Maybe this will be his day. Paul Ilbing, third in the championship, in 4th position. Out there, Rich Alsop in 5th. Brian Lockwood doing very well in 6th. I think this is his first meeting of the season. Ashley Beard, fantastic for Excite Racing, beating a lots of big names. Richard Warming up there in 8th, another a really good qualifying from him. That's Marco Nurmela in 9th place, has 4 for wins so far this season. There's Nicole Foggy, Nicholas Rasmussen, Christian Rose, Johnny Brandon, Michael Evdoka, and Stuart McFadden. Incredible quality, considering that they are down in those positions, but watch for them to maybe move up later on. Then behind that is Bun, Daniels, Gregory Clement, Clately, Lavelli, Shermans, Gosling, Andrew, Rayfield, McDonald, Johnson, and O'Connor. Hopefully 28 drivers will take the grid. Quick word from you, Tyler. Who is going to take this one? Is it going to be Bayman, Ellis, or maybe someone surprising?
Honestly, I would like to see Kevin Ellis win this, just to give a little bit of a better fight between the Drivers' Championship. But my surprise pick, I think, is going to be further down. I think if Christian Rose can keep it clean, I think he might be able to have a good opportunity. Either him or even Nico Foggy, because I know Nico Foggy's a very quick driver. So either one of those two drivers, I think, might have the opportunity to win this race if anything happens up front.
Yeah, could be an incredible call, that, because yeah, I think they are certainly dark horses, despite starting so far back. Of course, the slipstream effect very strong in this car. How much of a part is that going to play? So here we go, Bayman v Ellis Jr. on the front row of the grid at Interlagos. We're about to get underway, and away we go in Interlagos. Bayman gets a really good start, easily ahead of Ellis, seemingly. Simpson's going to have to try to hold off Ilbing, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it. And Bayman easily ahead. Ilbing going up ahead of Simpson then, with Alsop and Lockwood just going a little bit side by side. Lockwood, I think, maybe going to be able to make that, as Beard also tries to get involved, and now it got contact and into the wall. That was Nomelo into the wall, and someone else.
He got hit by someone. I don't know who. I couldn't tell who it was. But that's done. Suspension broken. He's out.
As McFadden just falling a little bit further down as well. Having a bit of a poor exit. He had a really good start. Actually gained up 4 positions, but he just lost 2 positions right there. Matt Bunn with a storming start, up 3 positions already. Is there going to be any contacts around this area of the circuit? You can quite easily get a bit of a concertina effect. But, well, apart from that one spin, seems to have been a relatively clean start. I wonder maybe if it was Beard who made that contact. But, of course, Nomelo won't care because he is now out of the race. We'll be able to take a faster pair, to be fair. Might be a good pick for race 2, as they go on to, well, they'll soon be on to lap 2 as they go through turn 13 on lap 1. And Bayman already establishing a bit of a lead. Can Ellis draw himself a little bit closer down the straight? He's closed in a little bit, but not too much. He really needs to be on his A game if he's going to keep that gap below a second.
Yeah, and it looks like 5th place is already struggling. Ashley Beard gets around 43 of Brian Lockwood, but comes right back around. Ashley tried to make it a good opportunity there, but with these guys fighting, and I think Lockwood lost the draft to Alex Simpson, so he took the lowest line he could going in through the start-finish line. So, oh boy, here we go.
These guys are losing each other so much time. Is there going to be contact? Beard just missing in the end. well, he went up to 5th place. He could have been way lower than that because that was very nearly contact. Alsop is the driver right on his tail. He might be about to lose out to Foggy.
Oh,
And
there we go.
now goes
We have
Alsop.
two con-
Miles off the circuit as well is Rasmussen. He really had nothing to do with that, but took good avoidance action. And now he's lost a lot of time. Beard, how much damage has he got? I fear quite a bit. An opportunity for a great result for him has maybe just been spoiled.
Yeah, and I think he might have gotten a little bit of contact there, having to go wide as well. Everything looks pretty clean for him, but the other two cars that were involved, that was a lot of damage. And we're all stop spun.
Yeah, for the
What
Racing
happened here?
Network.
Ooh, he's got a lot of damage actually too.
Yeah, and that implies that he's made contact with someone else, which means that maybe someone else has got a lot of damage out there. Has he just been... I assume he's been spun. Just seeing the after effects of it. So he's already got the damage, in fact. And I think this might actually be by himself, probably due to that damage. And yes, it is by himself, just an over-rotation. Fortunately, he didn't collect anyone else. But Richard Alsop falls way down the field now.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, a lot of damage on that front and rear. Battles are getting really big.
As Foggy, like you said, moving his way up.
Ooh.
But he's already got a little bit of front wing damage. In fact, he's stayed in 10th place so far as Foggy. Matt Bunn is now up 7 positions. So too is McFadden. You know what? Foggy's losing positions now. He's down into 11th. So that damage on that car is really costing him too much time. And he looks to be a sitting duck in comparison to others. Maybe even going down the inside is Ben Gregory and Michael Abducker for Fitzpatrick Motorsport. Gregory's also had a great start, up 6 positions. Been difficult to keep up with everything that's been going on, but already, as we saw at Silverstone, a few mistakes being made, and well, maybe unlike Silverstone, a lot of contacts being made as well.
Absolutely, and I think I just noticed something. I think there is a car that's running low downforce, because I might have made a mistake thinking that how the two wings on the back right now are the low downforce. I think actually that's the high downforce, because I saw a car that all of a sudden, yeah, just in front of this battle that looks like he's got a smaller wing than everyone else. Or that looks like, yeah, which if that's the case, McFadden's on a really, really low setup. And so this was the difference I was talking about. So this might be interesting. Oh yeah, that's a lot thinner. So yeah, so McFadden the only one on low downforce. So I'll have to keep an eye on him then, because he's up seven spots as... Oh, I don't know if this is gonna work. 71 of Nicholas Rasmussen trying on the outside, but he's gonna end up losing out to Matt Bunn. So this will be interesting to see how this works out for Stuart McFadden. And then since I realize now my mistake, so I'm gonna apologize for that. Ooh, big dive in there by the 11 of Matt Bunn teammates as well. So I'm definitely gonna say my apologies. I got the downforce wrong. I should have known this, but so now we do know everyone is using the high downforce setup, but Stuart McFadden is using the low downforce, and he looks like he's the only driver using the low downforce package.
Yeah, he looks to be benefiting from it as well. As really falling down the field there was Rasmussen, so yeah, having some issues with his damage. As I think that's Gregory up into the top 10, really having a good run. It's Ben Gregory as McFadden. Well, he's got all that straight line speed. Can he pull ahead by turn 1?
Oh, easily.
I think he is, so that's really the downforce levels, not necessarily showing in the rear wing, although they are, and that time showing on the track. As Gregory now going through, he's absolutely a man on fire right now, but can't make that move as it stands. Out in the lead, Bayman now a second ahead of Ellis, so has been able to break that draft. Looks well on course for his 4th victory of the season. And then it's Ilpink running in 3rd, keeping tabs on Ellis, but he's failed to really get within that slipstream so far. Simpson just dropping off ever so slightly in these past few laps. Lockwood is a relatively comfortable 5th place, actually, really being able to consolidate on that one. And Johnny Branton, a man who we haven't really talked about so much today, but he's up 7 places from his start up into the top 6. And, well, he's losing time, in fact, to the top 5. And he's losing time to Christian Rose as well. So, yeah, these two should have a good duel in the next few laps. And then, of course, behind that is the Bunn. McFadden Rasmussen and Gregory battle.
We're keeping an eye on this Matt Bud McFadden battle now, and McFadden's gonna have a better run as he's got the low downforce, so expect a huge speed difference here, depending on what McFadden decides to do. Oh yeah, here he goes, going up on the outside, and he should easily clear, especially with the low downforce, and yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, quite incredible, the amount of straight line speed he has. It shows that, oh, and now he's gone wide, so maybe that's not the
And
benefit of the lower rear wing.
I think because of Matt Bunn being, both of them are actually teammates. Oh, here he goes. Rasmussen's looking on the inside. I have a feeling that there might actually be some teamwork going on between the 53 and the 71. I mean, not the 53 and the 11, I should say, because I just realized that Stuart McFadden's running with CQR SimSport team, which is the sister team of CQR Club. So I have a feeling. At first, I thought that they were fighting for positions, but I have a feeling they might be working together to trying to close up the gap so that.
Oh, and off goes
That
a
was Michael.
Vodka.
Yeah, Voka. Boy, and that rear wing is really in damage. Oh, look out for the rejoin.
So he was making steady progress, was Docker. Wasn't doing anything too fancy, but I think he's just dropped this one by himself. He had, what's that, Beard just behind him, who then momentarily went ahead of him and then fully ahead of him because Docker into the wall, one of the few places where there is no runoff, and he's got a long way to come back now. Rose, Rasmussen,
Yeah.
and Bunn really close, by the way. Oh, sorry, Rasmussen
Yeah.
and Bunn are very close.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say with that contact, he might have a little bit of suspension damage. So we got 3 wide here going for. Looked like that was 71 of Rasmussen's. That looked like that was a good battle here for 8th, and Rasmussen takes over. But getting back to that real quick strategy call, I think McFadden's trying to stay behind Christian Rose or Matt Bunn because of low downforce, and when they get to the tighter turns, oh boy, Matt Bunn had a very scary moment there.
Absolutely. Him and his team have really lost each other time. If maybe they were playing games, but it's lost them the chance at Rasmussen because look how far behind they are now. Rasmussen sprinting away from this pack, and it's because they've just been fighting each other too hard, seemingly. And well, it's now it's McFadden, Bunn, and then Beard. So Beard's done really well to move back up the field with damage. Remember, after being spun round at turn 6 and 7. Earlier on, and a great train of cars going through this, through these few corners. A lot of different teams being represented, and well, this time it'll be McFadden at the head of this because he's got the lowest downforce. He should just be pulling all these cars along.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. That's the other thing I was thinking too was if that Bunn gets ahead of McFadden, they can be able to just do a loop around, and where McFadden can be can follow Matt Bunn, and Bunn can be able to help lead them away through the middle corners. But it looks like it's not going to work right now. As here we go again, fighting for position, maybe even 3 wide. This is going to get interesting.
Really good straight line speed on the outside for McFadden. Beard is down the inside. He might just get one. No, he was hoping for the 2 of them. But he's now side by side, which is the better line. Probably the inside line all day. Maybe just getting slightly better exit there. It's Beard. Will he be able to pull ahead? He is pulling ahead. And now trying to carry the speed round. Almost contact between the 2 of them. And going into turn 9. Fantastic battling this. Side by side for a few corners here.
Oh, little contact. Matt Bunn around losing a lot of positions because of that. But it looks like, I mean, that's actually, it might have not, Ashley might have not made contact. It might have been just Matt Bunn losing it around. We'll have to see a replay of that, see what happened. Here he goes. Matt Bunn on the inside.
He was fighting really resiliently for this whole race, says Matt Bunn. This is how it happened. Oh, he's already lost it. Yeah,
Oh
you're right. There was no
yeah.
contact.
Yeah, no contact. It looked like he was losing it going into the corner, so could have been a lot worse. He could have lost it middle of the corner and rolled back towards everyone else, and that would have been really disastrous for everyone.
Well, after all of that, means that McFadden's now been able to sprint away from these guys. Beard is back up into the top 10 then for Excite Racing. And now it's Lavelli. Look at him, 11th place. Great drive so far. He's holding off Gregory and Cloaksley. Oh, and now round goes
Contact.
Cloaksley.
And there's some contact involved there. Yeah. Nowhere to go. Rear end the driver in front, and then just absolutely got pile drive to the.
Because as we've seen so often this season, you know, just a clean race can really give you a very good result at the end of it. And these drivers maybe having a good chance at a top 8 maybe for a few of these guys. You know, for example, Abdoka and Beard and Cloaksley as well. But yeah, just going a begging in the end. Ilbink really closing in now on Ellis. He was 3/10 faster on that last lap. He's managed to, well, that gap to Simpson staying around 1 second. This is the first time that Ilbink is really within the slipstream range. He's got to stay so tight going, coming out of turn 12. And then he might just be able to drag himself a little bit closer. We've also got McFadden versus Beard out there. Really close between those two, only 1/10 of a second currently. That's the battle for 9th and 10th. Will Beard go for the move straight away? This is where McFadden's going to struggle a little bit with that lower downforce package. Beard should be able to easily stay up, and you can see he's almost going to have a chance at a move, maybe down the inside into 11 or 12. Apparently the kink before that corner is a corner, I don't quite know how. So going down, well, this is now 11, I believe, and going into 12. Beard staying right onto the rear end, and will have a great chance into turn 1.
Yeah, as they're heading down a long straightaway, actually Beard's gonna try to see if he can be able to get on the outside. Doing cutback after cutback now. Ashley's got the inside. He's gonna try to do a little late braking. Ooh, gotta work on that brake bias a little bit more. Ashley has got on the brakes. Looked like a quick little lockup and almost lost it last second.
Yeah, that was a bit of an unusual one. And because, of course, when you look up the front brake like that, you expect to just spear off, but still managed to get stopped a little bit too quick. But Beard definitely has got the pace on his rival. And you know what? Lavelli's going to get involved in this one soon as well. So, yeah, going... Oh, now Gregory's off. So,
Ooh,
one pit stop motorsport driver has already been lost. And now Gregory, another driver, had a good chance at top 10.
I
That
wonder
goes
if
begging as
he.
well.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I wonder if he ran a little wide and got on the AstroTurf and then just no grip on that AstroTurf. Ooh, actually, that's a very interesting spot to lose it at. That's hard to do. Unless you got on the brake a little too hard, but boy, that was really unfortunate there.
Yeah, lost the car really early on. Of course, 44 degrees track temperature, so not a lot of grip for these drivers whatsoever. Also, low track usage, and so it's yeah, very difficult for these drivers at the moment with the amount of grip out there. As Ilbrink, look at this. 0.2 of a second now. He's been able to edge closer and closer on that last lap. Took another quarter of a second out of the Kones Jr. This is well, actually very satisfying. Bayman first in the championship, Ellis second, Ilbrink third, and Simpson fourth. Going to very much consolidate those positions in the championship if it ends like this. Ilbrink, I'm sure, will want a top 2. Still got a while to do it. Still got 13 more minutes in this race to go. Of course, half an hour long first race. We have a bit of a break, a reverse grid, and then a half an hour second race. And Ilbrink, well, I'm not sure if he's managed to hold onto his tyres better, but just Ellis seemingly dropping back. And if anything, Simpson is closing in as well.
keeping an eye on this right now. As looks like Elbrink should have some draft here. He might close up the gap a little bit. Gap's at 3.7. It is dropping a little bit. I don't think Gilbrink's going to catch up. It's going to be more like a cat and mouse game now. Looking to see seeing how close he is to the brake point, getting on the brakes. Further in the background too, Alex Simpson's closing up on this battle, so we might have Alex Simpson trying to be the team bully in this case and try to see if he can get around Elbrink. So it's going to be a very close battle here as we still have about a little less than 3 minutes to go in the race. Or actually, sorry, 13 minutes to go in the race. I just noticed it was 30 minutes, not 20. My apologies.
Foggy has just got past Sherman's. So Foggy after... What happened to Foggy? It was a spin of some kind, wasn't it? And yeah, he's had to move his way up the field. I think he may have pitted, actually. I'm not quite sure, to be honest with Nick Foggy, but he's up in 12th place now and absolutely rapid. He's faster than everyone up to 6th place. And he is... Well, he could probably get a top 9 out of this. He's 6.5 seconds behind Ashley Beard. So that's possible for him to catch. Any further than that, I think, is a bit unrealistic for, for Nicole. As McFadden also having to make his way back through the field. He's got Matt Bunn up ahead of him.
Keeping an eye on the Kevin Ellis. Oh, here we go. Elbrink looking on the outside here, going to turn 1. Late braking, he might, if he can stay side by side, off the inside line. And looks like, wow, Ellis was able to keep a little bit more speed and kept Elbrink behind him. Very shocking.
Here comes Elbrink. There's space down the inside, and he's going to take that space. Ellis really didn't fend it off too much, and this should be easy for Elbrink going into turn 4. And he is up into second place. No!
Ooh.
Back comes Foggy. Back comes Ellis, apologies. And wait, a lot more speed through turn 5. He's going to have the inside for 6. Elbrink there almost got a little bit complacent, I think, thinking they had the move done. Well, maybe Ellis hasn't got the move done yet because Elbrink's ever so close. And now look at Simpson. He's going to try to help out his teammate undoubtedly. They have been talking a lot about the team game so far this season. They won't want to, they'll be desperate to get another 1-2-3 to replicate the 1-2-3 they had in race 1 at Spa. Had a 1-2-3 since then. Had a 1-2-4 with Simpson in 4th and Elbrink in 3rd in race 1 at Silverstone. That's really close now is Simpson. He's going to have the best chance going into turn 1. I think they're all going to pretty much merge at the same point because it's down to 0.3 of a second between 2nd and 3rd, 0.2 of a second between 3rd and 4th. It was side by side going into turn 1 on the last lap as Elbrink draws closer and closer. Is he going to have to attack Ellis? Is he going to have to defend? Oh, and now there's almost contact. A massive slide for Elbrink. Somehow doesn't lose a lot of time and holds on to 3rd place.
Yeah, he was going to try to do a late move, and he had way too much momentum. There was no way he was going to make it. So here comes Alex, going to try to get around Elbrink. Elbrink's doing everything he can, and Ellis is just blocking him in as much to help his teammate. Oh, this is going to be...
Is he going to try to outbreak him going into 6? Elbrink, Simpson all the way around the outside. Now there is contact, and there's big contact the second time. Oh, and a 3rd time now. And that may have been the one which did the damage for Simpson. Because had a lot of, quite a hard hit there on his rear tyre. As Elbrink then drops down into 4th. It means that Lockwood now, in his debut race this season, up into the top 3 for the racing network. Only 4 seconds behind Ellis, in fact. But Elbrink and Simpson, we'll have to see how much damage those two drivers have now. Yeah,
and that's going to be that might be real costly for Elbrink and Simpson now, especially trying to work their way back in. And Johnny Brandon's closing up on Alex Simpson as well, or actually no, I think that's Christian Rose. No, I was right. Johnny Brandon catching up with Alex Simpson right now, and easily Johnny Brandon gets around with that damage. So I think Alex is just trying to make it the last 9 minutes, trying to see how many points he can salvage.
Yeah, I think he's going to probably fall down into 8th place behind Rose and Rasmussen. maybe even Foggy could maybe catch him by the end of this race along with Beard as well. And Ilbrink, well, we'll monitor his lap times. That sector 5 on that lap, he lost 9/10 of a second. So he's got a lot of damage on that car. He's only 5 seconds ahead of Brandon. I think he's going to be losing about 2 seconds a lap. So, well, this is probably going to be a slam dunk as well for Brandon and for Rose as well. So really good for those guys as Rose now moves up into 6th place. Oh no, and now he's dropped it. But saves it fantastically. Thankfully there was tarmac out there, not grass. And well, Rose might, well, certainly pass Simpson. He might even catch Ilbrink still.
Yeah, he took that corner a little too aggressive when he hit the rumble strip right at the middle of the car, and when you hit a rumble strip in the middle of the car, especially in the undercarriage, it's gonna really unsettle the car. It'll bounce the car around like it did there, and Christian was lucky not to really cause any damage or let alone fly off the track and wreck the car completely.
Well, second time then passing Simpson, and that will be with ease. Ilbrink, so what was that lap time? 28.7, that's 2 seconds off the pace, like I said. In fact, 2.5 seconds slower than what he was doing earlier on. So yes, no doubt he's going to be caught.
Comes into the pits probably just to use that fast repair and try to run quick laps again with a little less than 6 minutes to go in the race. He's going to do what he can of trying to.
Well, he'll still be ahead of all these drivers as we go 3 wide, going into turn 1. Is anyone going back out? No one is. Is there going to be contact? Gregory round the outside, Bun leaving a lot of space, if anything, a bit too much space. I think he could have maybe taken the corner normally. Alsop trying to make the move. He was the driver who lost it at turn 1 all those laps ago. And, well, still Gregory wants to have a part in this. There's not really any choice going down the middle there. As Alsop goes round the outside, Gregory sees an opportunity, but the track is just not wide enough. And getting involved in this one as well is warming him. He's going out of position. Alsop now, down the inside. He's going to be able to gain 2 positions, surely. Bun still not giving up. He's been in a constant battle for this entire race, it seems. And Bun still going around the outside at turn 7. Inside for turn 8. And then, of course, 9 and 10, I think they'll be side by side as well. Bun, what effort this is from him. He lost out in a similar battle to this earlier on. This is why he's outside the top 10, but eventually he does drop it into 16th place.
Yeah, that could have been really interesting. Seeing him trying to go 3 wide. There was definitely no way they were going to make it, but boy, that was still a great battle though, as all 4 of them are trying to chase down Nico Foggy now for 13th, as Richard Allstop's trying to see if he can get around Coletzi now. Or actually, no, sorry, that might Matt Bunn, as Coletzi's the one that's further up the field, further up the track. And Matt's got the inside, but Richard Allstop's gonna have the better run coming out of the corner. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting, as we might go 3 wide again. Oh, jeez.
Oh, here comes Warmingham from absolutely nowhere. But he does back out of it in the end. Gregory, has he lost it again at turn 4? No, Warmingham tries to find a gap, and now losing 3 positions in one corner is Richard Alsop. And now it's Gregory at the head of this. Bun down the inside. He's going to have the exact same situation as he had on the last lap, but the other way around with him on the inside now, as Alsop has already got back past Warmingham, or tries to get past Gregory now. That mistake at turn 5 really did cost him, but he's already made up 2 positions surely as he goes down the inside of the Fitzpatrick Motorsport driver. And now Gregory's lost it again. And well, someone had to fail in that battle, and eventually it was Gregory who bit the dust.
Yep. It was a good run though by Gregory. He has unfortunately dropped down the 20. Oh, what happened here?
Another mistake for Richard Alsop. That's now, well, he almost lost it earlier on. So, it's a back marker.
No. Oh, no. Oh, man, that's contact with as well. Richard Warmingham getting involved in that too. So Matt Bunn, out of the 4, was able to pull away. He was the only one not to get involved in an incident.
Yeah, maybe it
Wow.
was good for Gregory that he spun because he managed to avoid all of that. But somehow wins out of that. He's up into 13th place. Quite incredible. We've had so many fantastic battles so far this season and crazy moments as well. And that really was one of them. Of course, this circuit a little bit infamous now for backmarkers interrupting the racing. As Ilbrink, he's under pressure from Brandon. And I think this is going to be easy for Brandon. I thought he would catch him by now, but his pace, Johnny, just not quite at the top of his game. But he has now been able to ease past. He's up into the top four. That's a really good result if he can hold on to it. Johnny Brandon next up for Ilbrink to hold off will be Rose. 3.5 seconds behind, and he's got 2 laps to catch. So Rose should be able to make that one pretty easy.
Yeah, it should be very, very easily, as right now Christian Rose is running quicker lap times, but with 2 minutes to go in the race, I don't think, and with 2 minutes and 2 laps left, I don't think Christian Rose is going to make up 3 seconds in 2 laps. So Paul Imbrink just got to make sure to keep it on the track, and he'll be able to walk away with hanging on to a top 5 after the incidents earlier.
Yeah, you'll probably take that result. If we could just go back to that battle with Simpson, we're having a little bit of a calm moment. Not too many battles going out there. But of course, it was Ilbrink and Simpson. Did talk to Alex last week about how he was fighting Paul quite a bit at Silverstone. The fact that those two have been in the World Championship Series for so many years with one another, and yet never really seemed to meet each other on circuit, despite kind of being similar competitiveness. And well, they had some great battles at Silverstone, had a good battle today as well, but in the end, they both came off quite badly. Simpson up in 9th position, actually doing a really good job after that pit stop, and he might even catch Beard by the end of the race on that last lap. He was 1 second faster than him. Ilbrink still 2 seconds ahead of Rose as we go on to the last lap. Or is this going to be the last lap? It's going to be very close. Bayman has got 0.4 of a lap to go. Nah, this is going to be the last lap, I think. And he's 7.5 seconds ahead. Absolute domination once again from Peter Bayman.
Yeah, definitely 7.4 seconds a gap, just absolute running away with it. But top 3 are definitely different, a little different compared to last week. I mean, Kevin Ellis is still going to be up there, but Brian Lockwood, the newcomer for the event tonight, and I think this is his first race first race for tonight, his first race for this season. So can't be happy with that. As Peter Berryman comes across the line now, Kevin Ellis Jr. coming in second, shortly behind him. Barely see him in the background, I should say.
Yeah, that'll be Ellis's 5th second place of the season out of 5. The longer that run continues, the better, to be honest. And not necessarily for Kevin, because he's now lost he's already lost the championship lead to Peter Bayman, but a little bit of a bigger gap now between those two. Ilbrink is just going to hold on against Rose. It was pretty close by the end, 3/4 of a second. And Rasmussen in 7th. Beard versus Simpson. Beard has beaten Simpson to the lines. That's a good result for Ashley, considering he had a spin. Trevor Clement, what result? And him and Nick Alford are going to be right close to the line. Foggy's just going to take it by an incredibly small margin, 3/1000ths of a second. Nick Alford just about gets Trevor Clement to the line. And, well, both of those guys will be pretty happy with that result, as Avdoka catches and passes Bunn right at the finish as well. So despite a crash for Avdoka and a pit stop, I believe, finishes in 13th place. I think we can now go through the final results for you. And as we already talked about, Peter Bayman winning this race. 4 out of 5 for him now in this series, the championship leader. Kevin Ellis was in 2nd place, his 5th second place of the season. Brian Lockwood was in 3rd, fantastic debut performance for him. Johnny Brandon, best result of the season for him, in 4th. Paul Ilbrink had a incident with Alex Simpson, still finished in 5th, just ahead of Christian Rose. Nicholas Rasmussen was involved in a great battle with Ashley Beard, Those were 7th and 8th. Alex Simpson with that contact finished in 9th, but could be a dark horse maybe for race 2 of the evening. Nicole Foggy had to come into the pits, I believe, still finished in 10th. Trevor Clement just picked up on other drivers' mistakes. That was a great result from 19th on the grid in 11th. Miles Clotesley finishes in 12th despite a spin. Michael Docker, despite a crash, finishes in 13th. Matt Bunn had a couple of issues in 14th, so too did Ben Gregory in 15th. Steve Lavelli was in 16th place. Behind that was Paul Gosling, Lane O'Connor. Richard Warming was so strong in qualifying, could only finish in 19th in that race, had a couple of issues himself. Then behind that was the drivers 1 lap down, McDonald, Shermans and Namella. And then Andrew was 2 laps down, Alsop 3 laps down, and the retirees were McFadden, Rayfield and Daniels. So Sam, the best moment of the evening, get to spin the reverse grid wheel.
Yeah, the wheel will be on your screen right now. I'll just keep this brief and spin it right away. And it's gonna be a big one again. 22.
22.
Ooh.
What are the rules for 1 lap down? Do we know if they're eligible? I'm not quite sure myself. But, well, if they are eligible, the drivers 1 lap down, it will mean that Marco Namella is on the pole position. I think that is how it works. So I'm sure the organisers will know what they're doing, and well, we'll find out who will be on the pole position when we come back. But just a quick word from you, Tyler. Anyone that you see who is going to be starting near the front, who maybe be a dark horse for this race?
Well, especially seeing that now, it'll definitely be Richard Alsop as, or actually no, he won't get that actually because he finished 24th. It's gonna be a good question actually. I think, well, maybe even like Matt Bunn who finished 14th, he might have an opportunity. I'm trying to look further down, like closer to 20th than that, like Richard Warmingham, Paul Gosling. It's gonna be up and down. I mean, Gregory could be another one. So a lot of close ones as well. So I'll be very curious to see how the reverse grid will play out, and especially when we got a lot of these drivers going to be way in the back now, especially some of our quicker drivers.
Absolutely, should be a fantastic race too. We'll be back in about 20 minutes time for round 6 of the World F3 Championship.
coming for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Hi there, I'm Richard Jobling, Senior Software Engineer here at iRacing. I'd like to show you some of the work that we've been doing to improve the collision and the damage in our sim. One of the major changes we've made is how our collision systems work. The old system stored the track as parametric surfaces, and the cars were made of collections of spheres. As the cars moved around the track, we would recompute planes using the track surfaces, and then test those against the spheres. This worked well for spheres, but was too specialized to adapt to our shapes. So for the new system, we've built new high-resolution meshes for each track. This is more efficient and gives us a lot more flexibility for the car shapes. The new mesh incorporates all the track features our guys work so hard to replicate. Things like curved geometry and changes in the surface material are all baked into the mesh. We've also taken our laser scan data and applied that to the mesh. And since the mesh is so high resolution, we capture all the detail that's necessary so that the tracks are just like the real thing. With our new mesh, we can now represent cars using smooth, convex hulls, which grouped together form the chassis, the bodywork, and all the other parts of the car. The new shapes are a much closer fit to the shape of the real car. During impacts, the shapes can deform according to the damage, and eventually they can break off as separate objects. All the parts, like wings, hoods, and wheels, can also hang from their joints, flapping and vibrating until they eventually snap off. All these changes are going to add a whole new level of realism to our races. If you want to find out more, please visit iracing.com and check out my blog post for lots more details.
Hi, my name is Greg Hill. I'm the Vice President of Art and Production here at iRacing. This damage project that we've been discussing is certainly a project that involved all hands on deck to pull off. We've got a rather sizable number of cars in our portfolio, and not all of these cars have been built with this dynamic damage system in mind. So what we had to do is one by one go through our race cars, and we had a team of 3 artists, a highly technical modeler, our technical art director, and our associate art director. All took on each car one at a time, and the work involved was researching that car, researching what would happen to that car if it were in a crash, depending on the forces involved in the crash, how severely it would be damaged, what parts might come off, what those pieces might look like when they're removed, what it would look like where the car has areas exposed that were previously covered by bodywork. So they had to do a lot of modeling to each race car, and they had to do a lot of work to essentially set up how the car would react to forces. So essentially setting the strength of the materials. What kind of force would it take to rip off the side pod, for example? Or under what circumstances would this nose cone get ripped off of a car? Or under which would it remain, but just be badly damaged? But all said, it's been a lot of work, but seeing the car models interact with the physics system and the new crash dynamics is really exciting and really cool to see, and definitely makes all that hard work worth it.
Hi, my name is Jose Diaz. I'm a visual effects artist at iRacing. I specialize in particle effects ranging from fireworks to water fountains, debris, crash, impacts, all in the service of improving the driving experience. So you have the main sort of new damage model that Richard's been working on. So that takes into consideration all the mounts and the chassis from the cars and which materials they are. And he's making all the calculations that tell you, like, okay, it got hit from this one side and the strength of that impact is this certain amount of values. If you hit something, that means that this mount gets off, something breaks. This gets added on top of that to sort of complement what is happening there with things that you would see in real life when a car crashes. So typically in a car crash, you will see all these little particles of dust, metal, scratches that will take all that force and momentum and kind of explode in a way. And it's all being driven by how fast the car was coming, how hard the impact was against what. That will give you that sense of like, man, that person really crashed hard, or oh, it was just a small bump.
Hi, my name is Chris Lurch. I'm one of the vehicle dynamicists here at iRacing.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV and the World F3 Championship. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick, and back alongside me is Tyler Vickery, with Sam Kumo still on the cameras. And Tyler, we just saw a very good race one as always. A few incidents, a lot of contact between the drivers, and plenty of spins as we've seen in the previous 2 meetings. This race 2 though, a big reverse grid, 22 drivers, with a few drivers out of position. And then we could see maybe a new race winner in this second race of the evening.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be real interesting to see how this goes with the reverse grid of 22. We never did find out though if those the two cars that finished in 22nd and 21st if they're going to be starting up front. We think they are, but it'll be very interesting to see how it'll play out as they're getting ready to grid up now, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Absolutely. They were eligible for the reverse grid, so it means that Marco Nomella is on pole position. He's alongside Nick Shermans on the front row. Thomas McDonald starts in third. Richard Warren could be strong in fourth. His teammate Lane O'Connor in fifth. Paul Gosling starts in sixth with Steve Lavelli in seventh. Benjamin Gregory in eighth. Matt Bunn in ninth. And Michael Abdoka in 10th. Behind that is Miles Clotesley, Trevor Clement, Nicole Foggy, Alex Simpson, Ashley Beard, Nicholas Rasmussen, Christian Rose, Paul Ilbrink, Johnny Brandon, Brian Lockwood, Kevin Ness Jr., and of course Peter Bayman, who won race 1. And then behind that is Andrew Alsop, McFadden, Rayfield, Daniels, and Johnson. We've almost got everyone on the grid already, in a very short gridding up time for these drivers. As we are about to get underway, Marco Nomella fought for a race win at Spa. Can he avenge that? He's starting on the pole position. Nick Sherman's alongside him at Interlagos. And away we go for race 2 of the evening. A little bit of an unusual start right at the back, but it's a really good start for Nomella. And side by side just behind him, Sherman should be able to hold off McDonald going into turn 1. And yes, he just does duly. As a lot of contact and maybe a car already round, a couple of cars round. Lockwood, who started near the back, and now an Apex car is round. That's Ellis.
That's Kevin Ellis.
Yeah, the former championship leader is round and with damage. A few other drivers getting caught up in there as well. Brandon and O'Connor, I believe, so not going to start for XVR. Bayman has got away unscathed. That's really good for his championship challenge. He's already up 7 positions, in fact. Ilbrink, good start. He's up 7 positions, up into 11. He's trying to make his way through the field, but it's Nomella leading the way, warming up into 2nd, with Lavelli up into 3rd as well. As Simpson sides his way through the field. He's up into 6th, from 14th on the grid.
Thomas McDonald's having issues. He's dropped 6 spots already. Ooh! Almost made contact with Paul Ilbrink. Something's definitely struggling with that car as he's getting... Oh my goodness, that was close.
Yeah, it's just being swarmed at the moment. I don't think there's too much wrong with that car, but it's really difficult for a relatively inexperienced driver, I think, to deal with this as Bayman absolutely sprints away. So just sees a swarm of cars and just decides to drive away from them. Such a better run. Turn 12 is Foggy, having an issue out of troublesome race 1 and maybe half a chance at a good race 2, but that seems to have evaporated already, down into 23rd position from 13th on the grid. Simpson making his way past Gregory, and that was very simply done. This could be his best chance at a race win so far this season. He's crucially 2.5 seconds ahead of his teammate, and he's made a very good start. He's only got half a second to catch up to Matt Bunn. For Ilbrink, good chance for him. He's already got past Trevor Clement, probably. Clement was a very stable 11th place in race 1, and he looks good for race 2 as well.
Keeping an eye on Ilbrink as he's staying defending of Trevor Clement. Oh my! Will Daniels up on his lid. Oh boy, why do I have a bad feeling?
Oh,
whoa!
Well, oh, there's another. Oh dear, why is he locked on the brakes? Oh, massive crash with the XPR. That was Foggy, yeah.
My goodness!
We've got to get a replay from Foggy's onboard there.
I'm so glad this is a simulator.
Did he just not see him? Oh dear, well, he almost seemed to accelerate into him. Foggy was just, I think, pretty much fed up. And, well, thought, well, I'm not going to miss it. May as well go in at full pelt. And big impact there. Simpson moves up into the top 4 now. Top 5, sorry. No, maybe top 4, because he's alongside Matt Bunn. And he makes the move.
Easily clears him. Well, the interesting thing is Marco Nomella pulled it away from Richard Warmingham and Steve Lavelli, but if they can hang on here, that'll be a good result for XVR Green. As Ilbrink is falling down a little bit, but having a good battle with Peter Berryman as Berryman's Oh, try not the wheel touch. My goodness, that was close.
Bayman thought about going down the inside of the pad then. Thought wisely, you need to just...
That was
Yeah.
actually Rasmussen. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
The paint
Rasmussen.
schemes on my end looks the same.
Yeah,
Caught
I've
me
got
off
the
guard.
same ones. And yeah, they do look very similar. Back to Benetton and, oh dear, I can't remember the other. Benetton and Sauber, I believe it was in the early 2000s. We had almost an identical livery. Seemingly, the 29 liveries, 2019 liveries, we're not going to have that issue. As Bayman up into 8th place. He's 6.5 seconds off the lead as he just joins this good old slipstream train. And will no doubt be in the mix by the end of this one. He's got Bunn, Gregory, and Ilbrink all in front of it. Ilbrink will be fast, and Ilbrink, you know what, might be able to have a chance, but he's just decided to go to the outside instead. It might leave him vulnerable to Bayman just behind. Trying to get a cut back now is Ilbrink. He's going to have a really good run on the exit of this one. Bunn goes to the inside. Where is Bayman going to be in all this? He's getting a fantastic turn. Ilbrink slides his way through. He got past one, may just get past the other, as Bayman, if anything, gets a little bit stuck behind. Tries to go through the middle of them, as Ilbrink still hasn't got the move done, and that's evident because Bunn nearly pushes him out there. Inside though for turn 6 for Paul Ilbrink for Radicals Online. Should be able to make it stuck this time as Bayman trying to go through as now. There's massive contact. Bunn is gone, and going straight through the pair of them is Peter Bayman.
Yeah, and Ilbrink locked up. Ilbrink had no control of that car. He went in aggressively and just locked up the front tire and nowhere to go. And oh man, Matt Bunn had nowhere to go. He was just the innocent victim in all of this. Oh man.
Somehow being able to find a rear wing out there and pops on his guy. He'll definitely need the fast pet. Disappointing day for Matt Bunn because he was so quick in qualifying. He could have really had a nice result today, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like that's going to end up being the case. Ilbrink, how much damage does he have, I wonder? Well, he's still ahead of Gregory and Rasmussen as Rasmussen goes up 9 positions now past the Fitzpatrick Motorsport driver. And yeah, so Rasmussen in 7th. Evdoka, by the way, is into the pits for some sorts of reason. Not quite sure why that is.
Yeah, it's Matt Bunn's also in the pit, so Vaca's got a little bit had a little bit of heavy damage. It looked like he had some heavy front end damage, so he must have got caught up with Matt Bunn or maybe someone else.
Yeah, seemingly. He started in decent position there, did Evdoka, but fell down pretty rapidly in the early stages. So, Simpson, he's already got past Labelli. Next up, Richard Warmingham. Can Simpson win this race? He's only 3 seconds ahead of Bayman at the moment. So he needs to really get on with these moves nice and quick. He's 2.5 seconds off Namella. As we exit turn 12, going through 13 now, seemingly relatively similar downforce levels. If anything, Simpson running a little bit less wing. Will go to the outside, should have the momentum to pull ahead of his rival by the end of this straight. Must say, Warmingham and Labelli, not usually the front runner to XVR. It's usually Brandon and Foggy representing that team at the front of the field, but doing a very good job currently in 3rd and 4th. But Simpson up into 2nd, and he's only 2 seconds off the race lead.
And Simpson is just going to be flying and running a little bit quicker lap times than Marco Namella, who's right now probably playing patient right now, knowing that Simpson and Berryman are on their way, so he's probably saving up the tires a little bit so that he can be able to give Simpson and Berryman a fight when they catch up.
Be a wise tactic. 36 degrees the track temperature, so not quite as warm as it was previously, but you still want to protect those tires. We're going to help you later on in the race. And yeah, 1.7 seconds between those two. Now, crucially, 4.5 seconds ahead of Bayman, who's very close now to the back of Labelli. How quickly can he make this one? We go even for a move into turn 12. I don't think he will for anything. Just lifting off there, and that's a good tactic from Peter Bowman. Means that he can get a little bit of a better launch down this straight. You don't want to catch too early down the straight. Otherwise, you don't really get the momentum advantage. Whereas here, you'll see him have a nice slingshot. Although closing maybe not quite as fast as one would expect. Bowman down the inside though. And as they move on to lap 7, he moves up into P4.
Easy, clean pass there. I think Lavelli's just playing it patient, taking as many points as he can, and just letting the quicker drivers get by if they catch up. Smart, which is a smart move for Lavelli and a smart move as well for Warmingham, because they'll still be gaining a lot of points over the rivals if they're.
Yeah, just looking for Ellis down the field. Where is he's 15th? Sorry, I was being completely blind. He is 25 seconds off the lead, which is quite remarkable. He's already had to come into the pits, and in fact, on that last lap, set the fastest lap of the race. So he's not lacking pace by any means, despite that front wing, at least on my screen, looking quite distorted. And he's got Thomas McDonald right in front of him. McDonald stay way up the field. Ellis will ease past. Next up, he's got a nice little gap, 7 seconds to Ashley Beard.
Yeah, and with his speed, he'll still 20 minutes to go in this race, so Kevin S will definitely have some time to catch up to Ashley Beard as well as a few others. If Kevin Ellis, if he's able to make it up to a top 10, get back up to a top 10 finish, that'll be a good run from him, especially after the unfortunate incident at the start of the race that he got caught up.
Yeah, it's definitely damage limitation, as his main championship rival Peter Bowman goes up into 3rd position. Lavelli and Lavelli and Ilbrink, apologies, very close to one another. Ilbrink, of course, had that setback, making contact with Matt Bunn, but it hasn't really slowed him down too much, despite having the car launched over the top of him. You can see that car pretty much with no damage, and Ilbrink now up into the top 5, up 13 places from his start, as the top 2 now, Nomella versus Simpson, really close between those two, down to 0.4 of a second.
Yeah, looking at the lap time, looks like Alex Simpson made up almost a full second on Marco Nomella, coming around to the last turn before they get on the long start-finish line, and things are really going to get interesting.
Should have a lot of straight line speed here, Simpson. And will he be able to ease his way past? He's 2.5 seconds ahead of his teammate. He has to get this move done straight away. Nomella, though, will want to stay with him as he goes to the inside. Nomella, is he going to be able to attack going into turn 1? No, he stays behind. Probably thinking, let's stay in the slipstream, let's at least consolidate a podium out of this, because that would be one of his best results of the season. In fact, it would be his best result of the season, because he had that hardware failure back in Spa, which potentially denies him the race win. But he's in 2nd place right now. Simpson easing his way past, and now it's important for Nomella to go really fast on this lap, stay within that slipstream range, as Ilbrink really trail-breaking going into turn 4. He's right on the tail of Richard Warming. .3 of a second between 4th and 5th. And, Ilbrink will be thinking maybe he could catch up to Nomella by the end of this one. He's only 4 seconds behind, and considering that he started some 17 positions further back than the Finnish driver, could certainly catch by the end of this race, but he needs to get this move done nice and quickly. Simpson 0.7 of a second ahead, so seems to have already broken that draft. By the way, this isn't the main battle. We're not ignoring any massive bunches of drivers like we saw in race 1. Certainly, if there are any massive ones, we'll certainly go back to it. A little one forming near the back of the top 10. But Ilbrink now right on the tail, trying to get out of the slipstream, then getting back in the slipstream, getting a really good launch. Doesn't go for the inside, goes to the outside instead. I don't think Warming's going to fight this one too hard. A very intellectual driver is Richard Warming. Doesn't fight the battles that he doesn't need to, and away lets his rival go. This battle's heating up. Lavelli, Gregory, Clermont, and Lockwood. Of course, Lockwood on the podium in race 2. Race 2 once.
Something happened to Ashley Beard. Ashley Beard coming into the pits.
I think he was in this battle, wasn't he? So you're absolutely right. Something happening to him. Another fast repair being used. Gregory and Lavelli just pulling away a little bit now from Lockwood. Oh, they're out too. Lockwood's going to undoubtedly be able to catch up relatively soon. 10 seconds ahead, these guys are of Ellis. Be close if Ellis can catch up. Ellis again on that last lap, setting a purple time. He's absolutely flying along at the moment. Nothing holding him back. He's got so much clean air. And he's really showing what he could have done if it weren't for that damage earlier on. As Namella, will he be able to defend against Bayman? Bayman goes to the outside, interestingly. The inside again was an option for him, and Namella very wisely lets him go. And now, Bayman has only got his teammate Alex Simpson to catch and pass.
Yeah, and right now that's only about a 1.4 second gap. Numella's going to try to catch up, see if he can keep this fight going. So be very interesting, and especially with even Paul Ilbrink as well. If Paul Ilbrink is able to catch up to Numella, that'll be another interesting battle.
Yeah, Numella still only 4.5 seconds off the lead. If something happens to the two Apex drivers, he could certainly still win this race, which would be pretty incredible after all that's happened to him so far in this race. Wonder how hard Simpson will be willing to fight Bayman. Of course, as I've said a few times in this broadcast already, they're very much speaking up the team game, Apex Racing UK. They just want to score as many points as possible, but I think Simpson will definitely try to fight Bayman, just as Gregory is fighting Lockwood currently. It's the battle for 8th and 9th. The Racing Network driver trying to pass the Fitzpatrick Motorsport driver as he exits turn 12. A little bit wide there, not quite getting in the slipstream, and they'll both drag themselves much closer to the XBR driver of Steve Lavelli.
Yep, as even Gregory further back's gonna try to do everything he can, but here comes Brian Lockwood on the inside, just easily, a little late braking, but he easily gets around.
Yeah, simple for Lockwood. How far can Lockwood get up? Might be able to catch up Warmium, so could still be a top 5, which would be a great result for Lockwood.
Yeah, at the same time as well, he's also going to keep an eye on Kevin Ellis, as Ellis has gotten around Christian Rose already as well. And Ellis is about 2 seconds from Miles Coletzi, and then another 7 seconds. Well, never mind. As there's the reason why.
Yeah, Miles making that one a little bit easier.
Yeah, Kevin's loving this now. So Kevin Ellis is about 7 seconds now from Trevor Clement and the Fritzy Motorsports. So yeah, and they're so whoa! I heard someone's tire screeching. That was Johnny Brandon. And Michael Avoca also crashed apparently as well. What happened there?
I think Avoca's been in the pits for a while now. Seemingly just hasn't come back out. He's already used his faster pack. So this is what happens. Oh wait, sorry, it was only just now.
Why?
So Canton and Avoca, former teammates for I can't remember who it was for actually, but yeah, those two coming together as now Simpson under big pressure from Bayman. Bayman won't go for it into turn 4. But he has caught Simpson hand over fist. 0.6 of a second faster on that last lap. The first driver to get into the 24s in this race, Peter Bayman. Simpson's been driving well, but you feel as though this is just a matter of time.
Yeah, unfortunately, it'll probably be a matter of time. Berryman ran a purple lap, too, of a 1:24.9, which is the quickest in the race so far, and it probably won't be that much longer until Berryman gets around Simpson.
Just dropping back in this part of the circuit. you would imagine they're running the same downforce, or the same setup, because they very much spoke about at Silverstone how they managed to find a few tenths right at the end thanks to the help of Alex. Just changed a few things on the setup, and it really did help them, enable them to lock out the top 2 positions in both races. But Bayman, this time, nowhere near close enough, 8 tenths of a second behind. It's just a bit of team games, maybe. I'm not quite sure. I would have thought Bayman will want to win the race more than anything, but yeah, just dropping back, very unusual.
Yeah, they might be just giving Alex the win on this one and hoping that Kevin Ellis now gets around Steve Lavelli, so Kevin Ellis is now back up in the top 10, and he's got about another 5 seconds, or actually, sorry, yeah, another 5 seconds to catch up to Trevor Clement and Ben Gregory, which still have 10 minutes to go, and with Kevin Ellis running quick lap times right now, probably won't take too much time.
Ilpink and Namela now very close to one another. 3.5 tenths of a second on that last lap. Ilpink was 9 tenths of a second faster. Namela, after looking so strong, in particular the Racing Network looked so strong at Spa, really thought that they could fight for the championship in both the teams and drivers championship, but they just tailed off a little bit in the last couple of rounds, but still a 4th position would be very good from Namela. He will want a 3rd position as it stands. He really didn't fight the 2 Apex Racing UK drivers too much. Will he fight this one a little bit more? Ilpink going to the outside. Namela seems to be very interested in keeping onto this position as he goes side by side going into turn 1. Namela is very deep on the brakes, and he might just lose the car. He's now across the grass. Is there going to be contact between the 2 of them? No, Ilpink manages to swoop round the outside of him at turn 2. And now we see side by side Simpson versus Bayman. Simpson not with the ideal line. Bayman moves up into the race lead, and it's really looking like he's going to take his 5th race win of the season now.
Yeah, just pulling away, and it's unbelievable. But great comeback as well for the season so far after getting caught up in that big wreck and back at Spa in round number 1. And this, I believe it was the first race. So a lot of things can happen, and so Peter Berryman's going to be definitely pulling away from the championship. Kevin Ellis is doing everything he can. He's about 3.5 seconds now behind Trevor Clement. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on the live time and see how many more spots Kevin Ellis can be able to make up.
Yeah, he's got 10 seconds to catch up to Richard Warmingham. And also Nicholas Rasmussen. So certainly top 8 is looking pretty simple, I think, for Koneski. He's got 8 minutes to go. And he's still setting some of the best lap times out there. He's pretty much the 2nd fastest driver on the track, only behind Peter Bayman. Could have definitely been his 2nd place of the season, but it doesn't look like it is, as Rasmussen goes past Warmingham. And very under the radar performance from Nicholas, but for NHR Esports, he's gone very much under the radar. But it looks like top 5, very possible for him, would be a nice point score for a driver who's had a couple of DNFs, I think, so far this season. But of course, Joe's nearly been, I think, may have been a pro driver in the past, and certainly shown that class in this race so far.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially when he's jumped up 11 positions from where he started. So very impressive run by Nicholas Rasmussen tonight. So he definitely can be happy with how his results went for this week.
Really is calming down in terms of the battles. This is pretty much the only one which is going on. The only other 2 drivers within a second of one another are Bayman and Simpson. That gap maintaining at about, close to 1 second, up to 8 tenths of a second now. Lockwood should be quite easy past Warmingham. Although warming up with the slipstream this time around, if anything, getting really close to the back of Nicholas Rasmussen. But now going to be very vulnerable down into turn 4. Lockwood just lining this one up. Warming on how much will he fight the XVR driver. Not too much, seemingly. Lockwood goes down the inside. And this should be P6 for him. Looks like it on his debut performance. He could maybe get 2 top 5s. That would be a fantastic result for him. Of course, still got one more drive to get past Nicholas Rasmussen. 5 seconds to catch up to Markin, and I don't think that's going to happen, but should be a good battle now between him and Rasmussen to the checker flag, 6 minutes away.
Yeah, absolutely is. Kevin Ellis is, here we go, closing in on Trevor Clement. And this might be a really very quick pass as well, as Ellis is already sizing him up, and here goes on the inside. Easy, easy.
Couldn't hesitate there whatsoever, Ellis. 2 seconds to catch up to Ben Gregg. So like I said, 8th place, pretty easy for him. He's been pretty unlucky though, as Ellis, because there's not really been too many mistakes out there so far in this race. Not too many crashes. And so he, normally he'd be maybe fighting for the top 5, but just with the quality of driving ahead of him, he's not going to gain too many positions, as Rasmussen and Lockwood get very close to one another. Rasmussen coming under pressure from Brian. It's a quarter of a second as we ride on board with him. Closing in the slipstream. Is there going to be any defence from Rasmussen? Maybe not, and that could allow Lockwood through, but no, he stays behind for now. He's still got 5 minutes to get this move done.
Yeah, it's coming up to the really technical corners now for Interlagos. It's going to be really demanding on the setups. Looks like Lockwood's going to have a little bit better run. Well, got a little too much on the rumble strips. Had to check up a little bit to not make the car unsteady, and still holding about a 0.4 of a second gap. Ran a little wide though, and I don't know if that'll hurt him too much. Is getting ready to heading into the long straight.
You want to be within about 0.4 of a second. If you're within 0.4 of a second, it should be a very possible pass. He is 0.48 of a second behind. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Lockwood. He's going to have to really get it done on the brakes. 0.4 of a second behind now. Edging closer is the 43 car, but you can just see he's a little bit too far behind unless he goes for a real lunge into the center S. But the opportunity's not there for him, and will stay behind. Maybe turn 4 could be an opportunity. Last time he got right on the tail by the time they reached the brakes, but he decided to back out a bit instead. And this time he's even closer to as well. He will duck out from underneath. Yes, he will. But he's not got the confidence on the brakes to move alongside.
No, I think he's trying to wait until the right opportunity to be able to make a move. And I just noticed Kevin Ellis already got around Ben Gregory. That didn't take long, and now he's got about a 5-second gap to Richard Warmingham. But this battle up front is going to be real close here with Lockwood and Rasmussen. Rasmussen's just taking a really good, smart defensive line here, trying not to impede himself. Meanwhile, Lockwood's doing everything he can. He's a little closer this time, goes a little wide. I don't think that hurt him. I don't think that hurt him with the draft, and he should have an opportunity to make a pass here on the long straightaway, using all the drafting that he can. Gap is closing.
Absolutely is. Round the outside goes Lockwood, trying to squeeze his opponent onto the pit wall. As Lockwood all the way around the outside, he's going to have the inside for the second part. Contact between the two of them, but Lockwood gets it done. No, he hasn't, because Rasmussen kept his nose in there, and now they're side by side going down this back straight. They are dead level, pretty much. There's no difference in their speeds. Lockwood, I don't think he's going to have a chance around the outside there, unless he's really brave. Goes for the cutback instead, going through turn 5. 6 could be an opportunity, but Rasmussen bending all the way to the white line, looking to see if there's a way down the inside was Lockwood, but there just wasn't. and, well, maybe even a chance going into 8 because it's a poor exit for Rasmussen. Really late on the brakes now for him, and he could be vulnerable once again. Just behind is Warmingham, and from absolutely nowhere. He was overtaken by these guys a few laps ago, but this fighting is just inviting him back into this fight. And, well, Lockwood all over the back has the race leader is going on to the final lap, actually. So, yeah, this is going to be one more lap for these drivers to sort out this battle.
Yeah, and here's the crazy thing is Kevin Ellis is catching up as well, but it's gonna have to take a miracle for Ellis to even catch up unless a big wreck happens between Rasmussen, Lockwood, and Warmingham. Ellis will finish 8th, so Ellis is probably crossing his fingers hoping that something's gonna happen here as here goes Brian Lockwood trying to look on the outside. Not enough room yet. He's gonna try to squeeze him on the inside, but Rasmussen's gonna have the inside line again.
Oh, he's trying to get the cut back.
Not gonna work. Ooh, boy, that was close.
There's the pit wall in the way, otherwise Lockwood would have surely gone for it. And, yeah, on the outside, he's really confident on the brakes. He's going to try to go all the way around the outside this time. It's going to be a great move from Brian Lockwood. He's miles off the circuit and now hasn't quite got the same exit. Almost contact between the two of them. Going into turn 6 and turn 7, Lockwood with the ideal line. And after many laps of trying, I think he has just got that move done. Back comes Rasmussen, though. But he wasn't alongside enough. And, well, what great effort from these two. Warmium right on the tail. He might even go for a bit of a kamikaze attack. No, stays behind. Does Richard. As out in the lead, Peter Bayman, he's going to make it 5 wins out of 6. Going to really increase his championship lead. Peter Bayman wins his second race of the evening at Interlagos. Alex Simpson, a strong second. And Paul Ilbig, another podium for him. Mr. Consistent, as yeah, he finishes in 4th place, and it's going to be Lockwood to beat Rasmussen to the line. Really close between the two of them, and it came down to just 4/100ths of a second. Great fighting amongst those two. Ellis Jr. He entered this round 3 points behind the championship lead. He's going to be much more than that. It's the first time he's finished off the podium this season. A decent recovery drive.
Yeah, really good recovery drive there as the rest of the field's coming through the finish. Ashley Beard's trying to close in on Michael Coletzi, but it's not going to be enough, and he'll finish in 14th. Ryan Gosling, Johnny Brandon, Lane O'Connor still trying to finish up their lap times, but excellent battle overall for the second race, and Berryman just dominating fashion again.
Yeah, it's incredible the speed he's got in this car, and unless he has a crash, he pretty much seems unstoppable. A comment on the YouTube chat, of course, was this turning into Formula 1, a one-man show, and well, you can't lie too much. 5 out of 6 now for Peter Bayman. He just seems to always have that measure on the rest of the field. I'm sure, though, someone will be able to challenge him later on in the season, and when we go back to maybe a slipstream circuit, he's going to be challenged once again. Just got Matt Bunn, I think, to cross the line before we can go through the final results, and there he is, without a rear wing. Well, it looks like a bit of a Formula Ford out there now. I'm sure it handles far worse than one, as he will cross the line in fantastic style as well. He really does know how to turn it on, as yeah, he will finish in 18th place. And we can now go through the final results, and like I said already, 5 out of 6 for Peter Bayman now. Alex Simpson was in 2nd place. I think that's his first 2nd place of the season. Only 2.5 seconds off the lead. Paul Ilbrink, great recovery drive into 3rd. Marco Namella was in 4th. Brian Lockwood, great battle with Nicholas Rasmussen in 5th and 6th. Richard Warmium, his best result of the season, in 7th. Kevin Ellis was a disappointing 8th after a couple of incidents in the opening laps. Benjamin Gregory was in 9th. Trevor Clements was finished in 10th, with Steve Lavelli in 11th. Christian Rose was a little bit of a quiet 12th in the end. Miles Clotesley in 13th. Ashley Beard was in 14th, with Paul Gosling in 15th. Behind that was Johnny Brandon, Lane O'Connor, Matt Bunn, and then the drivers 1 lap down, Abdoka and McDonald. 5 laps down was Angie, and then the retirements: Alsop, Rayfield, McFadden, Daniels, Foggy, and Sherman's all of those coming in the opening few laps. Well, of course, we do usually have some interviews with drivers, but right now we do not have anyone to chat to. So disappointing. Just desperately trying to find what the next race of this championship will be. So I just load up the rules. It is Road America. Well, a big circuit, that a slipstream circuit, and maybe an opportunity to take Pete Spayman off his perch, because the slipstream effect around there, Tyler, is going to be very prominent. I think we have now got an interview with some drivers. Alex Simpson, I think we'll have a chat with person. Alex, well done out there. A 4th and a 2nd in the end. Sorry, not a 4th and a 2nd. It was like an 8th and a 2nd, wasn't it?
8th or 9th, something like that.
Yeah, you must be pretty pleased though, especially with your pace. I think that was probably the most competitive you've been all season.
Yeah, definitely happy. Least practice I've done all season. First lap was tonight, so yeah, I should do that more often. Apparently, that's the secret. So nah, to be fair, I got to thank Pete and Kevin really, because the car was just on rails tonight, and like, you know, I was just learning as I went, and the car just was there underneath me, and just felt great. So yeah. Bit gutted in the first race with obviously the incident with Paul. We've looked at it back and we agreed it was first contact. Unfortunately, it was a little bit of net code, and then that just sort of sparked the other 3 straight afterwards. But yeah, but no, it was a good race. The elusive 1-2-3 still hasn't come for the team. We want that desperately now. I'm sure it will do. So, but yeah, no, I really enjoyed tonight. Great circuit in Interlagos. Racing was good as well. The second race, few people were very generous with lifting and letting me go, so yeah, thank you very much for that, and yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it was interesting that with a lot of drivers not deciding to fight you, it seems like kind of the racing IQ of the lot of drivers out there is quite high, that they don't want to waste time fighting you. They know that you're faster. I think it shows the quality of the series, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've always, you know, sort of preached, even like in the other reverse grid races that I've ever done or commentated on, you know, big picture driving, you know, usually gets you the best results. You know, you can race hard against some of these quick guys coming through. All it does is actually let your competition catch you up in the end, and some of the others. So you're better off sometimes just ducking in the draft and on a slipstream for a couple of laps or something like that. You might gain an extra place or 2 out of it. So yeah, no, there was some sensible driving out there. I mean, turn 1, race 2 was a bit chaotic, but then it always is here at Interlagos. But everything else I saw out there was really good today.
Yeah, definitely. It looked very good on the broadcast, and oh yeah, of course, that second position. If you seem to drop about 0.6 of a second straight away off Kevin. If you stayed a little bit closer, was there a chance of keeping up with him with the slipstream, or was it always a losing battle?
No, I was never going to keep up, to be fair. So more than anything, we were talking about it. There's about through the infield was pretty even, but the 2 critical places were sort of the first and last corners really, and that was where I was losing about a 1/10. And yeah, it was making all the difference. That's where you need to carry the speed, and even with the slipstream there, that's where you're losing the time. You're gonna drop back. So if it had been somewhere else, sort of in the midfield, that I was losing it, and actually those corners were fine, then I'd been able to use the draft to keep with. So, but yeah, no, like you said earlier, I'm happy with the pace. It's progressing nicely considering the track time that I've had at the moment. So, and most importantly, another couple of 1-2s for the team.
Yeah, you guys are really dominating the team's championship now, and well, I'm sure they'll be on your list of people you'd like to thank.
Yeah, well, to everyone at Apex, Kevin and Pete, obviously, the most. To you guys for doing the broadcast, all the admins that set up the leagues, Immortal, Social Proofed, and to our team sponsors as well. So SDK Gaming, Leah Bodner, JCL Sim Racing, and Simputer's PC Systems.
Thanks, Alex. And you'll be commentating on the BSO Radical tomorrow, won't you?
I will indeed.
Awesome. See you then.
Thank you.
We have also got Brian Lockwood, who was a debut driver today. And Brian, you must be really pleased with that. Third position in race 1, and then a 5th position in race 2. Debuts don't really get much better than that.
Well, I'm definitely happy with how the races went in the end. I mean, I survived both of them. That was very, very lucky. And yeah, good way to start off the season. But I wasn't quite as happy with my pace as I expected to be. The guys up front were just flying, and I couldn't hold a candle to them.
Yeah, they're not a bad quality of drivers, certainly. But your battle with Nicholas Rasmussen in those closing few laps was really entertaining. It was interesting you maybe not going for the move straight away, waiting until you had a clear opportunity. And then on that last lap, to pull off that move going into turn 6 was very impressive.
Oh, it was brilliant. The whole battle, I mean, Nicholas really impressed me. We raced so hard, wheel to wheel for so long, and we didn't have any contact. And yeah, I knew I had 3 or 4 laps to make the move, so I was, pushing him, prodding him, seeing where I could maybe make it happen, because it was not an easy thing to do to pass this guy. But in the end, maybe it was a little lucky, but it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, it certainly did. And well, next up we head to Road America. Similar, well, I don't know if it's a similar circuit or not, to be honest, but lots of slipstream around there. You got 3 very long straights. Do you expect the racing to be even tighter when we head there next week?
Well, absolutely. It's one of those tracks that you can be 3-4 tenths off the pace and still be able to keep up with the guy in front of you. So I think we should see some great action up front. I'm hoping the mid-pack calms down a little bit, because this race was, I mean, there were a lot of incidents. I really struggled to make my way through the field. I was spending so much time avoiding people that I couldn't make it forward. But and Road America's, I'm worried that it's only going to be worse in that regard, because of all the drafting. People will see opportunities, maybe take them when they shouldn't. We'll see. But definitely excited about it.
Yeah, definitely. We are certainly excited about it in the commentary booth as well. Before we let you go, Brian, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Absolutely. Shout out to the Racing Network for letting me drive for them in the series. I'm on loan from my main team, Racecraft Engineering, and we work together in the Formula 3s to push each other, get faster and faster. But yeah, huge thank you to those guys. Marco especially, he does so much work with the setup, and just hours and hours of testing. So really, really great to work with all of them.
Absolutely. We'll see you next week, Brian.
See you next week. Thank you.
Now, I think the driver that we're about to call up is Paul Ilbing. Just making sure that this is Paul Ilbing.
It is.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Paul, another really good result for you today. 2 podium positions. You're 3rd in the championship. Yeah, you're just banging in these consistent results.
Well, I didn't actually get a podium position in the first race, but yeah, it was a good round for me. But I'm just sorry for the incidents I had with both Alex in race 1 and with Matt as well in race 2 in turn 6. That was a bit messy from my side, and I want to apologize to them for that. So, but other than that, it was quite a good race.
Yeah, I've already heard from Alex, a little bit of netcode perhaps involved in that one, but yeah, I've already talked about Alex, how you guys already hang a little bit of a rivalry in this season, despite fighting against one another in the World Championship series for many a year. you two never really came across each other on circuit too much, but now you seem really evenly matched with one another.
Yeah, I heard him say that last week as well, and nothing sprung to mind with me either. But yeah, I've been in there like for a couple of years. I think we both qualified in the same year in 2012 or something for the first time. So we go a long way back. But it's nice to have a fun series to compete with each other again here.
Yeah, definitely. And what about the racing in that race? We've already heard that it was a little bit messy out there. You had a massive incident with Matt Bunn, I believe, where he completely launched his car over the top of you. Was there any damage after that?
I guess there was a lot of damage on Matt's car, but I think my car was pretty fine. But that was just like a really stupid mistake by me. I went too far on the curb on the inside and lost the rear, and there's not much you can do. And he just happened to be close behind me and hit me, and that's like too bad. But I guess these things happen sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about the track temperature out there? It was very warm in the low 40s in race 1, high 30s in race 2. Were you preparing for this? Did you know that it was going to be these type of conditions?
To be honest, I was surprised about how cold it was, actually. I've been preparing in quite a bit hotter weather, but especially in race 2, I expected it to be quite a bit hotter, but to my surprise, temperatures even went down quite a bit during race. But yeah, the car was prepared for hot weather, and it went fine in the slightly cooler conditions as well, so it was all fine on my side.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we let you go, Paul, any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, I want to thank all my teammates for the support, our team sponsors, Joe Realtime and Cranfield Simulation, Arma Center, Modes Podcast, Turn Racing, Immortal, Pixel Dust, and Six Sideways, and of course you guys for doing nice broadcasts and the series for organizing stuff. And I'm looking forward to get back in a bit.
Absolutely. Thanks, Paul, and we'll see you next week.
Right, see you.
I think our last interview is going to be with Nicholas Rasmussen. And Nick, that was a good result in the end today. I think, was that a fifth and, sorry, a sixth, a 2 6ths, I think, if I'm getting that correct. You must be pleased with that. That's still a lot of, good solid points.
Yeah, I think it was 7 first race and 6 in the second race. Almost 5th, but just wasn't enough. But yeah, I think it was a good day today. I think we were pretty lucky not to be involved too much in the incidents that occurred. We basically had 2 massive close calls this race, and both in the first and in the second race, and both could pretty much very easily have ended my day. So I'll take it. I think it was good to get home in a good solid position with some good points.
Yeah, definitely. We paid a lot of attention in race 1 to that big pack you were involved in for the first 10 minutes or so. The racing there was pretty hectic. Like you said, you had a couple of close calls, but that was really difficult for you because you were clearly faster than those other drivers, and yet with the damage that you had and the fact that you had 4 or 5 cars surrounding you, must have been very difficult.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I got off the track and got a little bit dirt on my tires, and I think I got out of shape a little bit myself. The damage wasn't really noticeable, fortunately. I think I didn't really lose too much on it. But once I really, calmed down a little bit and regathered my thoughts, I could make some better moves and then move up at the end of the race. So that was obviously pretty good.
Yeah, definitely, and we've got to have a word about that Lockwood battle right at the end. That your side-by-side action with him was superb. It was great to see 2 drivers going at it, but very cleanly. I don't think you two made any contacts, and despite maybe him using a little bit of extra circuit, it seems all very clean.
Yeah, that battle there, that was fantastic. No, I hate being beaten. That's the worst thing that can happen to me. But in this case here, that battle was fantastic. We left each other space. Brian was obviously the quicker of the 2, but with that little laps to go, I tried the best I could to fend him off. And yeah, I mean, this is how racing should be. And congratulations to Brian for 5th. It was a fantastic race. I really enjoyed that, and hopefully we'll be back at it next week at Road America.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll certainly look forward to that one. Before we let you go, Nicholas, any thanks you'd like to give?
Yeah, this time I had my teammate Alex as a spotter. He couldn't race today due to him not having any pedals. So I think that's a weak excuse, but that's up to him. No, but I gotta thank like everybody at NHR Esports, Newman Racing, and Extreme Gameware for sponsoring us and helping us out, and everybody for organizing this championship, and you guys for putting on a fantastic broadcast. I'm gonna enjoy watching this battle back here in the second race once I calm down a little bit.
I'm sure you will. It was absolutely great to watch, Nicholas. We'll see you next week.
Absolutely.
So Tyler, we've already already mentioned Road America, the next race for the season, and like we've already heard, you know, you can be quarter of a second off the pace and still keep up around that circuit. Could maybe be a bit of a mix-up to the established order.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. Gonna be some good overtakes though, especially when you'll have some high speed and low speed corners. So, especially when you have a field where you really can't be able to don't have to worry about too much issues. So it'll be interesting to see how the race goes next week, especially after how exciting it was for Interlagos.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be living up to Interlagos and of course Silverstone and Spa as well as we return in the World F3 Championship. Of course, tomorrow we have the BSR Radical Championship. That is the third to final round. Very close in the at the top of the championship in that. On Saturday, we don't have anything, actually. On Sunday, we have the Apex Racing League's Renault 3.5 Championship. And then, of course, on Monday, we'll have the World GT Championship and the Masters and the Mick Sports Car Series. On Tuesday, we'll have more of the Masters. On Wednesday, of course, we have the ILMS just preceding round 4 of this World F3 Championship. From Road America, should be fantastic fun. That we certainly hope that you join us. Thanks for tuning in. But for now, from me, from Tyler, and from Sam as well, we will say goodbye, and we will see you next time.